Okay, well, here I go. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but fools rush in. My name is Kelly, and I'm here to talk about one of the three most controversial topics on the internet, my diet. Why is it diet? Why is the diet so controversial? Because nobody knows what the answer is. I mean, everyone's desperate for an answer, especially in the United States, my country, where such a high percentage of the population is overweight. Everyone is looking for the answer. And, I'm an old lady, but I've finally come to the conclusion after a lifetime of trying to lose weight as an adult that the answer is there is no one answer. There are a lot of diets out there, and they usually work for some people at least, but there's not one diet that works for everybody. And a lot of people refuse to accept that. Your choice of diet does not make you smarter than everybody else. It does not make you morally superior to everybody else. And I'm not just talking about vegans, the diehard vegans anyway. There are people with that attitude in the carnivore space, the keto space, every diet space. They think they've got the one and only answer that everyone else should listen to. Yeah, you tell Ted. And that's not true. So, I have struggled with my weight, not as a child, fortunately, but as an adult since I was 19. And I've tried a lot of diets off and on over the years. They were always a little too extreme, and so the strain of keeping up with them, especially once I hit a wall, would usually become too much, and then I'd fall off the wagon and eventually gain back everything I lost again, and then some. And then I'd give up for a few years, and then eventually try again. Yo-yo. This latest time, it was different because I got to the point where it wasn't just that I hated being the way I was. It was this time my health is being affected. I have a bad back now. I got a mouthy cat in the background. And a rather extensive list of health issues, and all revolving around my weight. The one that tipped me over into trying one last time was my knees. I got to where every time I stood up, my knees really, really hurt. And it was making standing up difficult. And I was at the point where I was thinking about, Teddy, don't be rude. I was actually thinking about getting a walker to help me stand up. And it hit me like, you're 60 years old and you're thinking about getting a walker. What the hell are you going to be using in 5 years if you don't do something? So that's when I started. The beginning of February 2024. At my starting weight was 311 pounds. And as of today, June 29th, 2025, my current weight is 243.6. So I've lost 67.4 pounds so far. I've still got a long way to go. I'm not even halfway there. But it's, it's a good start. So what did I do? Because my bad back, I can't rely on exercise, and exercise alone won't do it anyway. At first, what I did was a low carb, whole food, meat heavy diet. And I did that from February of 2024 until the end of May 2025. And then I changed to a different diet. And why did I change? Once I went down from 311 and I hit 250, I stalled. That happened in February of this year. And I just couldn't move the needle much. It would go, I'd lose 2 pounds and then I'd get it back, and then I'd gain 2 pounds and then I'd lose it. The needle kept coming back to 250, no matter what I did. And I knew I had to do something different. In the past, what would have happened once I had an extended stall is I would have quit altogether and given up and gone back to my SAD diet. And I couldn't afford to do that anymore because my health issues, my back has gotten a little bit better, but not enough. And I didn't want my knees to start acting up on me again when I've gotten them to behave. And then, other things I would like to fix too. So just as I was accepting that I had to find something else to do, to try, the YouTube started blowing up with Cole Robinson and his sugar diet. And I hate the name sugar diet, I really do. It's so clickbaity, but that's the point, really, with clickbait is, to catch your attention. So, I did not care for him as so much because he's definitely is drama prone, shall we say. But there were some people who had caught on to his diet, smaller channels, that I liked. And, they were tweaking it to suit them, which is what you should do with every diet. You tweak it to suit yourself. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to do exactly the way this sugar diet protocol is being proposed, but it's given me a few good ideas. So let me try that. Because the whole point of any diet is, if you're severely overweight, you need something that is sustainable long term. Temporary fix, for a month, ain't gonna cut it. So, for the past just over a month now, I've been doing a whole food, low fat, flexitarian diet. I'm not vegan. I don't think I ever will be. But I have reduced the amount of meat. And I eat quite a bit. So during the day, I eat fish. I'm not fish. Eesh. During the day, I eat fruit and mostly fresh and frozen, but some canned and dried. And then at night, I'll have 3 or 4 nights a week, I'll have some meat. I'll have vegetables. I'll always have a starch, rice or potatoes. And sometimes I'll have some more fruit. And that works for me. I mean, in this past month, I've lost, let's see, 6.4 pounds. The stall is broken, and that was what I was really looking for. And I don't feel like I'm suffering, like this is an ordeal. In fact, I find it easier. Here he comes again. Quit hogging the limelight here. My cat Teddy. I don't feel I'm suffering, and I find it easier to keep my fat grams per day below 30 than I found it than I did when I was on low carb and trying to keep my carbs below 30. I know some people would say, hey, you need it to keep lower than that, but and I do generally, but it just like I keep 30 as my hard line, is like thou shalt not go beyond that point. My macros, I write them down. Generally speaking, my average for the past month, my average fat per day is 13, protein 69, carbs 305, and calories 1560. For me, that's sustainable. I'm 61 years old now. I'm not very physically active, although I've improved a little. And I'm a woman, it's always harder for women. So doing extreme things and expecting, to lose 20 pounds a month, that's not going to happen for me. It's not going to happen. But this, slow turtle approach is working for me. So I'm very happy about that. And I understand there's been a lot of drama with Cole Robinson now. He's taking back what he said before. I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. I think maybe he's second guessing himself or something. I don't know. But what I'm doing is working for me. It might work for you, it might not. But the point is, no matter what diet you try, you've got to tweak, and so it'll work for you long term. Because the easier you can make it for yourself, the less likely to fall off the wagon. And what I liked about this approach, and what I liked about the low carb when I was doing that, was I didn't get really hungry. It's a lot easier to resist the junk food when you aren't hungry. And for me, that's the key. Is I know it's not that way for everybody. For me, staying away from ultra-processed foods is what makes the difference. I think no matter what I do, I have to do that. That's always been my downfall. That's how I got the weight on. It wasn't that I always ate enormous quantities of food. It was just I gotten to the point where like 80 to 90% of what I ate was ultra-processed. So, I hate to say the word addiction because it sounds like I'm trivializing, what drug addicts and alcoholics go through, but it was a kind of an addiction. And I can't eat ultra-processed foods in moderation. It just does not work. A little is never enough. So, the line between processed and ultra-processed can be a little fuzzy, so there's some things I eat that some people might consider ultra-processed, like, white rice. But I keep it down to the bare minimum. And it works. It's not fast, but it's steady, and that's good enough for me. There's some small channels who I found very inspiring and who I follow. Latchkey Gen Xer, Eat Like Emma, Fat Free Eve, and Skeleton City. I feel like they've given me a lot of good ideas, and I'm not doing things exactly the way any of them are, but that's okay. We have to make what works for us as individuals, because I think that's the problem, is we keep expecting there should be one diet to rule them all, and it's just not true. You have to do whatever it is you need to do to make this a long-term sustainable way of life, if you're going to keep it off, because otherwise it's just going to be temporary. And when you're 160 pounds overweight like I was, temporary is not good enough. So I don't know if anyone will ever see this tape. If you do, I hope you find it helpful. But if no one does, I'm still going to keep doing this because I'm scared. I'm scared I'm going to sabotage myself, because I have a lifelong history of self-sabotage because of my anxiety and depression that I've had since childhood. And things are going so well that I'm terrified I'm going to find a way to screw it up. So this is, I decided to start making videos, and even if no one else sees them, maybe it could help remind myself what all I had to do to get this far, and to encourage me to go on, because I'm on my own. Ain't nobody gonna take care of me but me and my very mouthy cat. He's been quiet all afternoon, and I turn on this thing, and all of a sudden he's got something to say. This is my plan, to keep posting videos to hopefully encourage myself and to stay in the course. And maybe by some miracle someone else will find it and it'll help them too. And that would be great. Until next time, see ya.